Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name's soujisakatattv. I'm a gender-fluid cat cybernetic VTuber, and today we're continuing with my reaction to the epic rap battles of history. Today we've got the comedians on deck. It's George Carlin versus Richard Pryor. Now, forewarning, I have seen this many times before. I do know about all of the surprises, and I know how epic it is. So, unfortunately, this isn't a blind reaction. I'll be right up front about that, but I do remember it was really good, and I'm excited to get into it. First things first, though, I got to get the shameless plugs out of the way. If you're not following me here on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe down below. It's completely free. It helps me out a ton. Check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/soujisakatattv, on TikTok at soujisakatattv, and on X, Twitter, whatever, at soujisakatattv. Also, if you look up at the top of the screen on my cycling banner, I am now partnered with Red Dragon Gaming. So, if you want to get 10% off of your Red Dragon Gaming peripherals, keyboards, webcams, headsets, speakers, whatever you need for your PC setup, I think they even get into PC parts like RAM and so on. So, depending on what you need, check them out. I use a lot of their stuff, and I really like it. So, code Sakata will get you 10% off at checkout, and it helps me out if you need it. So, we both win. But with that shameless plug out of the way, let's get into it. Richard Carlin? Richard Carlin. Can you tell it's late and I'm tired today? Let's try that again. George Carlin. Richard Pryor. Got it right that time. Let's go! I love the applause and laugh in the background.
Here we go, it's George Carlin. I'm a mad dog starling. I was born in the Bronx and brought up in Harlem. I'm dope and spitting bars and getting crowds hardy harring, while you're the least threatening black dude since Carlton. Now this.
Alrighty. Oh, I forgot. This is a really profane or profanity-filled battle, so fair warning. So let's start off with Carlin here. Here we go. It's George Carlin. Of course, pretty straightforward. I'm a mad dog snarling. If that's a reference to something I'm unaware, it might have been apart from his comedy segments. I never watched much of Carlin. He was before my time. I was born in the Bronx and brought up in Harlem. It's just true. That's just background. I'm dope at spitting bars and getting crowds hardy harrin'. So, yeah, he's good at rapping. He's good at making crowds laugh. It's a good flex. And while you're the least threatening black dude since Carlton. Carlton, if you remember, was kind of the goofy dweeby guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't remember what Will Smith's character's name was in that. Again, before my time. But Carlton was his friend in that show. And, yeah, he was kind of a goofball. So, yeah, if there was a non-threatening person, Carlton would be up on that list of, yeah, not a threat. So that's good. That's a good diss on him to start.
7 words you can't say on a TV set. Well, this is the pissin' fucking cuttin' internet. And my cock-sucking motherfucking bits are the tits. Non-stop and brain droppings like my wits got the shit.
All right, so that was a reference. I know this is one of the things I do know about Carlin. He had a comedy bit about the words you can't say on TV. And, of course, he just went through, I think, all of them. And, but yeah, and so pretty much the bars for most of the cuss words are pretty, my second bits are but I like the last one. And I'm stomping brain droppings like my wits got the shits. So his wits are dropping so much, it's like they're crapping out. His wit is coming out so often, it's like he's crapping it out, and then he's stepping in it. So he's stomping these brain droppings like his wits have the shits. I love that line and how clever it works that into it. Because at surface level, okay, it's just a cuss word bar that fits into the rest of the scheme. Which normally I'm not a huge fan of cussing for no reason. Since it's a reference, I don't mind it as much. But I like how they made it still clever on the backside and made it something you have to think about a little bit. That's really fun.
And motherfucking bits are the tits. Non-stop and brain droppings like my wits got the shit. They're called Pryor. I doo-doo on you constantly. No pauses in my punchlines, no commas in my comedy.
And I love how they continue that. Like my wits got the shits. So call this Prioria. Of course, Richard Pryor is his opponent's name. And it's a play on diarrhea. But also, you can call this Prioria. because he's doo-dooing on him constantly. So it's diarrhea that's on Pryor, so you can call it Prioria. Because he's doo-dooing on him constantly, since he's stepping on brain droppings because his wits have the shits. That is such a good 4-line scheme that ties in forward, backwards, and every which way but loose, pretty much. I love that line. That is easily Carlin's best bar in this whole rap.
I doo-doo on you constantly. No pauses in my punchlines, no commas in my comedy. You'll be down for the count when this counterculture counterman serves you with a stand-up or cut you can't counter. Damn!
I stand corrected. That might be his best. I'll keep this one. The doo-doo and brain droppings, wits got the shits are the best punchlines. Technically, from Carlin, this is the best segment. You'll be down for the count when this counterculture counterman serves you with a stand uppercut you can't counter. Damn. I love how clever that wording is. I want to get back to where I can read it. Oh, yeah. No pauses in my punchlines, no commas in my comedy. Basically, he's just, again, still carrying on that never stopping about doo-dooing line. I missed that. I apologize. I did skip over that line. I got excited about the next one. But you'll be down for the count, of course. Down for the count, talking about a boxing reference. So when you're down for the count, that means your opponent has won. So he's saying Pryor's going to be down for the count when this counterculture counterman. I don't know I'm going to have to look this one up. Comedy counterman. Let's look up definition, maybe. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I get it now. Counterman. A person who works behind a counter serving customers, especially in a store or casual restaurant. Okay. So, when this counterculture counterman. So he's like the counterman for counterculture. Of course, Carlin was very against like mainstream government and would often make fun of the mainstream stuff. Which is... So he's basically the counterman. He's the face of being counterculture. I love that because I had to look up what counterman meant. It's more straightforward than I really anticipated it would be. I just realized I keep going off screen. I apologize. I'm going to move over here when I lean over and I'm off screen. My bad. But so he's the counterculture counterman, and he's going to serve you with a stand uppercut you can't counter. Stand-up comedy, of course. It's a play on that with an uppercut from boxing. So he's going to be down for the count when him, the counterculture counterman, the face of counterculture, serves him with a stand-up comedy bit that hits like an uppercut that he can't counter. Damn. Like, that's awesome. That's such a good technical bar from how it's written and how it's performed. That's easily, like I said, the doo-doo bar's easily the best punchline. But Carlin's getting big points for this technically.
No pauses in my punchlines, no commas in my comedy. You'll be down for the count when this counterculture counterman serves you with a stand uppercut you can't counter. Damn! Wilder than Gene when I'm killing the beat. You're steady taking second place. That's a silver streak.
Alright, so he's wilder than Gene. Of course, a play on the name of Gene Wilder. When I'm killing a beat. And you're steady taking second place. That's a silver streak. Isn't there something about... It is a 1976 film. Let me guess, has Richard Pryor in it. Cast. Richard Pryor, 1976 movie, Silver Streak. So, of course, he's saying that Richard Pryor is going to be taking second place because, you know, you can call that a silver streak if you're constantly getting second place. The movie that Richard Pryor was in was Silver Streak. That's a really clever bar. Great finish there, saying he's going to take second place Pryor's going to be taking second place to Carlin using movie title. I love that.
Wilder than Gene when I'm killing the beat. You're steady taking second place. That's a silver streak.
Any rap battles with you, I be winning them. Your style's like 2 drinks, it's the minimum.
All right, and right off the bat, a good bar. So if you've ever been to a comedy club, you know that I've never been to one, but my parents love them. And they've told me there is a 2-drink minimum. So you have to pay for at least 2 drinks to get into the club. That's how the club makes their money. So that hence the if your style is the minimum, it's just like 2 drinks going into a comedy club. Yeah, it's kind of the basic. It's just entry level. Yeah, you can have more if you want, but that's just to get in the door. So that's a great bit. I love that.
Rap battles with you, I be winning them. Your style's like 2 drinks is the minimum. It's your boy from Peoria, Illinois. One hand on my mic, one hand on my groin. Cause ain't no set tighter in this whole damn game. Even the shit that I spit off the top flames.
Okay, nice. So, I forgot about that line. So it's your boy from Peoria, Illinois, because of course Carlin flexed on, being born in the Bronx and brought up in Harlem. So he's like, what's it matter where I'm at? I'm from Peoria, Illinois, because it doesn't matter. I'm still a big comedian too. Who cares where you're raised? I'm from Ohio. It don't matter where you're at. You can make it anywhere. But I love that. So it's kind of a pun on Carlin's bit there, and then. One hand on my mic, one hand on my groin. That was how Pryor performed a lot of his stand-up comedy, was holding his giblets, his family jewels. Actually, funny enough, Eminem did the same thing a lot in his early years. He would often get on stage, and while he was up there rapping, he'd have the mic in one hand and his nards in the other. And it's like, I don't know it seems to be a thing famous people do, and I don't know why. If anybody knows why famous people hold their junk when they perform, let me know, because I'm genuinely confused by that. Around my house, we always called it Al Bundy syndrome, because if you've ever seen the old 80s sitcom Married with Children, that was Al Bundy's favorite pastime, sitting in front of the TV on the couch with his hand down his pants. It's like, I don't know why. It was kind of the running joke. So if anybody knows that, let me know. All right, and then his other line that he got, because there ain't no set tighter in the whole damn game. Even the shit that I spit off the top flames. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Richard Pryor, not movies. Yeah, that's what I thought of. Yeah, okay, yeah, I was right. So, Pryor, at one point, I wanted to make sure I had that right before I put my foot in my mouth. Pryor actually tried to, I don't want to get the wrong words and get YouTube's algorithm after me, so we're going to say that Carlin tried to unalive himself by fire, of all things. He literally tried to light himself on fire. Now, there are many ways to go, and I don't know that's one. I mean, not that there's any good way to go, but that sounds like one of the worst ways to go. I don't know. I don't even want to think about that. If you don't know it about me, if you've never been to one of my Twitch streams or heard any of my lore, at one point I actually was to the point of taking my own, and I was down to picking how, and not, there are many ways to go, and none of them are good. So, fire in particular, fire and drowning, the two of the worst. Yikes. But so he's somehow turning that into a flex, of all things. That's, I mean, I guess, you survived, so, and, he got better after that, so more power to you. I guess if you can live up your, if you can look back on your past and realize the faults and then make the best of it, I suppose good on you. So he's saying that there ain't no set tighter in the whole damn game, because everything I spit off the... What is it? How does he say it exactly? Even the shit that I spit off the top flames. So he's saying his set is fire. It's so good. Just like he was on fire at one point in time, which... That's dark and morbid, but at the same time, kind of a good double on that. So, more power to you, Carlin.
My delivery is rupture in the tummy. You tell a joke and people go,
that's funny.
My mama was...
That's probably Pryor's best bar. My delivery is rupturing the tummies, of course. So, if you're rupturing the tummies, you're getting everybody laughing and, belly laughing so hard that their gut hurts. That's awesome. Whereas Carlin, he's saying, your comedy is more people going, oh, yeah, that is funny. Well, they're actually laughing, like belly laughing at Pryor. So that's definitely, if you're a comedian, you want the belly laughs, not the, yeah, that is funny. So yeah, that's a good one.
Is rupturing the tummies. You tell a joke and people go,
that's funny.
My mama was a prostitute and grandma ran the brothel. Seen some shit, but not as awful as your haircut debacle. I'm the original brother. You get to see some color. The most iconic stand-up comic. Stand down, motherfucker. You forgot the...
All right, so I love the way he ends that. My mama was a prostitute and grandma ran the brothel. I've seen some shit, but not as awful as your haircut debacle. So he's like, I was born and raised in this awful situation, and it still wasn't as bad as your haircut. Which, yeah, Carlin's haircut. Pryor was definitely the more dapper of the two. Carlin always looked a little homeless. No shade, just, yeah, not a great look in my opinion. If you like it, you do you, but he was always like, there are ways when you're going bald, to style it properly, and Carlin's just never looked like he styled it at all. So, but hey, you do you, I guess. But yeah, I like that. He says, I'm the original brother to give the scene some color. I do believe Pryor was one of the first black comedians on the scene that made it big, along with, I think he was way before Eddie Murphy, I think. I know he was in the 70s, so he was definitely one of the earliest. He says he's the most iconic stand-up comic, so stand down. And I'm like, ooh, that's another good bar. Not as hard of a punch there. We'll say Carlin's had two really good high points in and amongst a decent rap. Pryor's was 2 steps up from Carlin's, but never had that super high 10. Carlin was a 6 at the, we'll say he was a 5 most of the time, with 2 good 9s. Pryor was more like a steady 7 or 8 the whole time. And then, of course, if you listen in the background, you can hear the hey, 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 as Cosby comes in. Of course, an homage to his character, Fat Albert, who always said, hey, hey, hey. I can't do that. There are many voices I can do, such as Scooby. But Fat Albert is not one of mine, so... All right, let's get into Cosby.
The most iconic stand-up comic. Stand down, motherfucker.
You forgot the cause and you know it's a mistake. I eat MC for breakfast like they made a chocolate cake. I'm the greatest. What's wrong with butter? Somebody put something in the pudding. And you put something in the pudding. That's in the pudding.
Okay, well, that's Cosby's entire verse. Basically one bar. You forgot the cause, you know it's a mistake. I eat MCs for breakfast like they're made of chocolate cake. Isn't there a thing about Cosby eating chocolate cake for breakfast? Yeah, okay. Chocolate Cake for Breakfast by Bill Cosby. So yeah, there's a song about that. So that's a reference to his song, okay. I knew there had to be some kind of reference to that. I'm like, that's the only bar he has. ERB is not going to let the only bar Cosby has go completely unreferenced. And then, of course, did somebody put something in the pudding? Yeah, well, if you follow the news, you know what awful things Cosby has done. Again, for the sake of my Twitch channel not getting, my YouTube not getting in trouble with saying the wrong things. If you don't know, you know what, do yourself a favor, don't look it up. Just know he did terrible things.
Oh, shut up, you stupid son of a bitch. You know you blew it. I'd have attacked you two first, but your hearts beat me to it.
Ooh, Joan Rivers, everybody. Coming in strong. So, oh, shut up, you stupid SOB. You know you blew it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's Cosby. Yeah, he's his own worst enemy on that. And then, of course, she looks at Richard Pryor and George Carlin. I'd have attacked you two first rather than Cosby, but your hearts beat me to it because Richard Pryor and George Carlin both passed of a heart attack. So that's a really good bar of like, yeah, I can't even beat you guys. My attack isn't going to hit. Your heart already attacked you first. Like, ouch. That's got to hurt.
Oh, Cosby, you can't be here. You're making people nervous. So let me end you real quick like I was Hannibal Buress.
Ooh. Who's Hannibal Buress? Comedian and actor who ended... Oh, yeah, I've seen this guy's face before. Bill Cosby. What happened here? Okay. I have no idea. It must have been that he was one of the whistleblowers on Cosby or something, maybe. Oh, no, wait, that's what it is. I think I remember hearing about this. Wasn't it that one of his jokes, like, inadvertently revealed what Cosby was doing, and everybody's like, wait, what did you just say about that? I think maybe it was something like, I can't remember exactly. I want to think I heard something about that at one point. It might not be true. If you know what that line references, let me know. I think that's what it is something along those lines. I may not be exactly right, but let me know if I'm at least on the right track, please.
Be here. You're making people nervous.
Well, yeah, of course you can't be here. You're making people nervous. Yeah, that's, anywhere Cosby walks in anymore, yeah, cover your drink.
So let me end you real quick like I was Hannibal Buress. It turns out you were just like your sweater. Monstrous. The men that I slept with only wish they were unconscious. My sex...
Well, I suppose that's one way to flex on yourself like that. Yeah, that's Rivers, of course, was no stranger to some more of the lewd topics in the world on her comedy bits. And yeah, that would definitely be the way she would approach something like that. Is it turns out you were just like your sweaters, monstrous. Cosby always wore these in the 90s, I suppose, 80s and 90s. I suppose they were a little more acceptable, but anymore they were just like, it reminds you of ugly Christmas sweaters. Not great. And then she's, all the men that I slept with only wish they were unconscious. She's like, yeah, they all consented, but yeah, they probably wish they had, they maybe hadn't had to experience that. So that's a self-burn, but also a flex on Cosby. She's shooting herself to take Cosby out completely with that one. It's not a bad strategy, honestly. When you're going after Cosby, you can kind of throw shade at yourself a little. You're still going to end up on top of the pile.
Like your sweater, monstrous. The men that I slept with only wish they were unconscious. My sex jokes offend. You're on the sex offender registry. Oh, who are you wearing now? Is that state penitentiary?
I love half of her verses gone by, and the only thing she has done is she's thrown one jab at Carlin and Pryor, and then just proceeded to ream Bill Cosby out for like 30 seconds straight. So, my sex jokes offend. As I said, she was very on the lewd topics. And yeah, some of her jokes were a little more on the offensive side to some people. But you know what? That's definitely better than being like Cosby on the SO registry. Yeah, that's definitely... I'd rather be telling offensive jokes than be on that. And then, oh, who are you wearing now? Is that state penitentiary? So that's, of course, if you're wearing a designer outfit. Oh, who are you wearing? Who's your designer for that outfit? Well, the designer for that one is going to be whatever state penitentiary you are incarcerated in, sir. That's not who you want to be wearing. That's not designer. That's the exact opposite. Big ouch there. Cosby already lost anyways. There's 5 people in this battle, and Cosby's getting 7th. Let's just be real here. But Rivers just making sure that, well, he's already been curb stomped. She's going to make sure she kicks him maybe down all the way to 8th.
You're on the sex offender registry. Oh, who are you wearing now? Is that state penitentiary? Enough with the roofies. Let me move on to Rufus. My jokes always had bite. You started out toothless.
Toothless might be a reference to something, I'm not sure. But enough with the roofies. Again, throwing one last shot at Cosby. Let me move on to Rufus. Of course, Carlin played Rufus in, I think it's Bill and Ted. I think it's the Bill and Ted movies. He plays Rufus, like their mentor or guide. Again, something I've never seen. So that's a reference to that. But my jokes always had bite. Yours started out toothless. If her jokes have bite and Carlin's are toothless, yeah, that's a pretty elementary bar to figure out there. Oops. Whoa, way too far back.
Let me move on to Rufus. My jokes always had bite. You started out toothless. And you just kept talking. You wouldn't shut up. Honestly, I'm glad you died. 14 specials was enough.
Ooh, hoo, hoo. Ouch. Yeah, Carlin had a lot of specials. Apparently 14, according to this. Yikes. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. So, I just realized my screen is off. There we go. Get that back where it belongs. Sorry, I just realized that's been half off screen the whole time. Whoops. And you just kept talking, you wouldn't shut up. Yeah, Carlin's was kind of long-winded sometimes, so another good diss on him there. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you died is kind of a dark way to throw it, but I mean, you know, Joan Rivers, again, not afraid of offending people, so go ahead. Oops.
And Richard, can we talk? Can I call you Dick like your fifth wife did when you remarried your sixth?
Ooh, ouch. That hurts. Of course, the slang for Richard is, of course, Dick. That's a short way to do it. I actually bowl on a league with a guy whose first name is Richard. Everybody calls him Dick. I'm like, I probably wouldn't go by that in today's age, but you do you, dude. And yeah, of course, if he had his fifth wife and then decided to remarry his sixth, yeah, I don't know that's going to go over well with... that's a tough sell for anyone. Yeah, ouch.
At this point, I've got more plastic than flesh, but my Tupperware body couldn't keep your wraps fresh.
I think my pudding...
So don't...
Cosby, just stay down at this point. And I love that. At this point, I've got more plastic than flesh. Of course, Joan Rivers, very well known for having a good amount of plastic surgery, but she's saying even me being made of plastic wouldn't keep your wraps fresh. Of course, Tupperware used to keep food fresh, so that's a good double saying, yeah, your wraps were stale and already going bad by the time they came out of your mouth. So that's a good one. And then, of course, she whacks him on the head here with what appears to be a lamp of some sort.
Throw down with Rivers.
Oops, I was already halfway through that
Couldn't
line.
keep your wraps fresh.
I think my pudding...
So don't throw down with Rivers.
Hang on. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this amazing metallic sound effect they use for this? Like, I want this sound effect for the bonk redeem on my streams. Just this clang. I'm a sucker for good onomatopoeia and like a good sound effect, and this one just sells it so good that it's an empty metallic item.
He couldn't keep your wraps fresh.
I think my pudding...
So don't throw down with Rivers. The flow is too relentless. I haven't thrashed celebrities this bad since The Apprentice. I'm closing this battle. No one else compares. The only place I'm in the middle is on Hollywood Square.
Alrighty, so she finishes it. So don't throw down with Rivers. The flow is too relentless. I haven't thrashed celebrities this bad since The Apprentice. I do believe she won the Celebrity Apprentice game show, reality show, whatever it was. The one with Donald Trump. She ended up winning the Celebrity Apprentice, I believe, the one year. So yeah, she hasn't thrashed celebrities this bad since she was on The Apprentice, where she beat all of the other celebrities at Celebrity Apprentice. And I'm closing this battle. No one can compare. The only place I'm in the middle is on Hollywood Square. So she's on the top rung of everything, except Hollywood Square, where she's got her name in the middle, which is arguably kind of a good honor. So that's pretty good. And I thought this video was getting long now, and here comes Robin Williams. Buckle up, boys and girls. This is going to be the hard part for this one.
No one else compares.
Here we go.
I'm in the middle is on Hollywood Square.
Good morning, movie
Right out the gate. Good morning, Vietnam. the Robin Williams movie about him being a Vietnam radio guy. I've never seen the movie, but I know he like runs the radio station, and that's every day is Good Morning Vietnam. So that's a play on that because Joan Rivers, Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, and George Carlin were all in movies. And arguably none of them, I mean, Carlin's Bill and Ted did good, but none of them ever reached the success of any of Robin Williams' great works. Aladdin, Flubber. I'm trying to think, what are some of the others? Wasn't he, I think he was in Jumanji, wasn't he? Robin Williams films. What else was he in? Oh, right. I forgot he was in Night at the Museum as Teddy Roosevelt. He was in a lot of movies. So, yeah. Oh, RV, Happy Feet. Dude, Flubber. Yep, that's the one I remember from a child. Aladdin. Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, wasn't he in, what's that? Oh, yeah, there it is. Good Morning Vietnam. Wasn't there another one? Dead Poets Society and... I'm trying to think. There was the... Yeah, I was right. It was Jumanji. And wasn't it... Yeah, Good Will Hunting. Yeah, he's the mentor in Good Will Hunting. I thought so. So, yeah, Patch Adams. God, he was in a lot of good movies. So, yeah, many, many good movies. And, I mean, all of them big... Or most of them big hits. A lot of big movies there. So... Yeah, definitely Williams could call the other ones movie bombs for sure.
Nice shoulder pads, Chief. I'm a genie in the bathtub. For some comic relief.
So, nice shoulder pads, Chief. Of course, an 80s style was shoulder pads in the jackets, as my mom has told me many a time. My mom and dad were both 80s kids. And so, yeah, the shoulder pads, very popular back in that day. So he's ragging on Joan Rivers there. Of course... Rob Williams got most of his stuff going in the 90s. So, and I'm a Genie in the Bottle. Of course, a play on the song, I'm a genie in a bottle. I gotta rub it the right way. I don't remember who sings that, but it's, what is it? If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta rub me the right way. Yeah, there it is. I can't remember who sings that. I want to think it's not. I always think it's like Alicia Keys or Britney Spears, but I know it's somebody. Screw it. I've got it. Why don't I just Google it? Oops. If I can type. Genie in a bottle. Oh, it's Christina Aguilera. Yep, another one of the like early 2000s females in that same genre with whoever I just said before. Again, it's late. I'm tired. Okay. But also, so it's a play on the Christina Aguilera song, Genie in a Bottle, but also he was the genie in Aladdin. So he's the genie in a bottle for some comic relief, which of course he was. Always, he played good comic relief in many movies.
Oh, Carlin, my Carlin, what can I say about you? Except I don't think you've had a good shit since 1962.
So, oh, Carlin, my Carlin. Oh, what is it? Oh, that's a line from Dead Poets Society. I watched it in high school. I can't remember. It's a reference to that movie, though. So, oh, Carlin, my Carlin. Oh, Captain, my Captain. That's what it is. So that's a reference to Dead Poets Society. That's one of the things they read in that movie. Of course, it does look like he's had a good... because he always looks a little bit like stressed and maybe, I guess, constipated would be a good way to put it.
My Carlin, what can I say about you? Except I don't think you've had a good shit since 1962.
Oh, wait, that's such a double. Like I'm stomping brain droppings like my wits got the shits. So call this Prioria, I doo-doo on you constantly. Williams is coming out being like, dude, you haven't had a good shit since 1962. You haven't had a good one. He's totally clapping back at his earlier line. I've watched this how many times and just now found that? Are you kidding? How long has this battle been out? 4 years. And I'm still catching new things every time. Unreal.
Mark aged backwards, and Joan, you must too. 80 years old, but that nose looks brand new. Now new. Yo,
God. Mortgage backwards and Joan, you must too. Of course, that's a reference to the, was it? I think that was one of the movies or shows Joan Rivers was in, Mork and Mindy, where she, I believe, was Mindy. And yeah, that was, she must too, because that nose does look brand new. What is Nanu? Robin Williams. Oh, that's a reference to Mork. It's the reference to Mork and Mindy. Nanu, Nanu. Okay. That makes sense. Got it. I was wondering what Nanu was.
aged backwards, and Joan, you must too. 80 years old, but that nose looks brand new. Now new. Yo, Pryor, that fire makes a good shampoo. Left you running down the street like.
Oh, God. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack on that one, too. Yo, Pryor, I doubt fire makes a good shampoo. Of course, we referenced how Pryor lit himself on fire. And, yeah, when he did that, he ran down the street until he was put out. I guess was like 2nd and 3rd degree burns. So, nasty stuff there. But, so, that's Williams coming back. I doubt fire makes a good shampoo. Had you running down the street like, ooh, no. That's a play on Mrs. Doubtfire, the movie Robin Williams was in, where he, of course, has to play, it's Robin Williams, but he has to play the part of a little old lady housekeeper named Mrs. Doubtfire, and he has that very fake falsetto, oh no, little old lady voice, and so that's, I doubt fire makes a good shampoo. And then references the voice he used in Mrs. Doubtfire while throwing shade. So he's already clapped back at Carlin, Rivers, and Pryor now, and made references to every single one of them and made fun of their stuff. And he's only a third of the way through his verse.
Comedy ain't easy. I've played plenty of dumps, and believe me, we've all hit plenty of bumps. But now.
All right, so comedy ain't easy. We've all played plenty of dumps. Well, yeah, that's pretty much true of the comedy business. On the internet, we're lucky. We can set up our own pages and have our own spaces to do what we want, when we want, and how we want. When you're a real-life comedian, you got to go out and make it in the world. Yeah, sometimes you got to play places that maybe you don't want to play. Some dumpy bars and comedy clubs that maybe aren't where you'd like to be playing. And then, and believe me, we've all hit plenty of bumps. Of course, you've all hit plenty of bumps in the road. You hit the hard times. You hit the bad spots. But also, comedians are often known to, we'll say, run the thin white lines. And yeah, that's those are often called bumps when you do them. So, a good double reference there.
Comedy ain't easy. I've played plenty of dumps, and believe me, we've all hit plenty of bumps. But now I got the flubber flow. That'll get the club jumping. You got second-hand raps. Found him goodwill hunting. Come on.
God, every bar is a good reference. I got the flubber flows that'll keep the clubber crowd jumping. I can't remember. Whatever the case, flubber was a little green living organism that was like super bouncy and elastic. That was from the movie Flubber I referenced earlier. And then, of course, you've got second-hand raps. So basically, your raps aren't even your own. You're just recycling old stuff at this point. You know, they're not new. They're not good. They're second-hand raps, because he found them goodwill hunting. Of course, if you go out thrifting and you go to Goodwill, you can be hunting for deals at Goodwill. But also the movie Goodwill Hunting that Robin Williams starred in. Another movie double. You gotta be... Man, every line on this. It's been 10 minutes just on Robin Williams already, and I'm not done yet. Robin Williams, this... absolutely insane.
The flubber flow, that'll get the club jumping. You got second-hand raps. Found him goodwill hunting. Got more hair on my arms than a Monchichi. And I'll finish.
Okay, hang on a minute. Monchichi? What is a Monchichi? Oh. Okay. What does that have to do with Robin Williams? Or was this just a 90s thing? What? So they're like little fuzzy, like, dolls. Okay, weird reference. If anybody knows why that is pertinent to Robin Williams, please let me know. Alright, so he's got more hair on his arms than Amon Chi-Chi. Yeah, Robin Williams did kind of have some hairy arms.
Perhaps found him goodwill hunting. Got more hair on my arms than Amon Chi-Chi. And I'll finish this battle like it's Jumanji. I love the prince. You'll never have a friend.
And I'll finish this battle like it's Jumanji. That's how you finish the game Jumanji, which Robin Williams successfully did in the movie. You have to, when you finally finish, to stop the game, you have to yell, Jumanji! So that's awesome. He even says it that same way, like it's Jumanji! And I love the prince. You'll never have a friend like me. Of course, that's a reference to Aladdin again, where the genie, played by Robin Williams, sings the song, it's not You've Got a Friend in Me. That's Toy Story. Aladdin. Friend. It is. It's called Friend Like Me. Okay. I wanted to make sure I got the title of that right. So yeah. I love the prince. You'll never have a friend like me. That's great. So that's a reference to Aladdin there. I like that. And I love how you've got all three. Carlin standing there all scrunched up like he always does. Pryor watching. And Rivers just kind of like taking the shade. And you still got Cosby down here unconscious. That's great.
Like me. Thanks, folks. That's my time. Gotta set myself free.
Oh. A fitting end to that battle. Cosby's still out cold. So yeah, that's yeah. Robin Williams, Pryor did attempt it, and unfortunately Robin Williams succeeded. So it's but yeah, that's thanks folks. That's my time, of course, as comedians say at the end of their bits. And yeah, he I guess for himself, he set himself free that way. So all right, so who won? Well, I mean, if it goes by time alone, I think we know pretty much right off the bat who wins. But it doesn't go by time. It doesn't matter. It's still Robin Williams taking the cake here on this one. Robin Williams gets first place. Absolutely savage. Love the bars. Love the jokes. Love every line as a reference. I mean, just a masterclass in a battle verse. Next up is tough. But I'm giving it to Joan Rivers. Joan came in with a seriously good amount of bars and a lot of good jabs, both at Pryor and Carlin. And of course, she gets bonus points for just reaming Cosby out for half of her verse, while still managing to fit in the disses on Carlin and Pryor. So Rivers gets second. Third goes to Carlin. Carlin, it wasn't quite as good of a verse as Pryor, but his two awesome high points with that great Dookie scheme and then the crazy technical stand uppercut, you can't counter the whole thing. It's enough to boost his verse up over Pryor's steady plugging. Those two high points make it more memorable. Pryor takes fourth, a good overall verse, nothing to write home about. And then in 8th place, because Joan Rivers kept curb stomping him all the way down there, we have Cosby, because it sucks to see, because back when you didn't know anything, you would have liked Cosby until you found out who he really was. And it's like, yeah, it's a shame somebody as talented and as broad as he was had to go down that path. He could have been one of the all-time greats, and unfortunately he threw it all away. So yeah, he's throwing away this battle too, not even taking home the 5th spot. He goes to 8th, and he's the big loser of the day. But Robin Williams, for me, definitely takes it. Who do you think won? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything, or if you want to elaborate more on something. You guys have been awesome about you guys have been awesome about telling me things I've missed or elaborating more without being rude or demeaning about it. I see a lot of other reactors struggle with that, and I really appreciate that you guys don't do that. So yeah, keep them coming. Definitely keep me more in the loop on stuff and let me know what I did or didn't miss or what you think. And until the next one, my name's Soji, and I'm out. Have a great evening or great morning, or whenever it is that you're watching this. It's evening for me. And yeah, don't forget, Sakata at reddragonshop.com. Right there at the top of the screen it is. So, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.